Here to take us through the international press is Florence Vilmino. Hello,
Hi,
Florence. Now we're going to start out with the reactions in the papers to Barack Obama's decision to cancel bilateral talks with Vladimir Putin.
That's right. It's getting a lot of attention in the press, as you can imagine. Let's look at the front page of The Independent that wonders, could this be the new Cold War? And inside The Independent, it takes a look at how Obama is deliberately showing his frustration at Moscow's decision to grant U.S. fugitive Edward Snowden temporary asylum. The Independent says this is a rare diplomatic rebuke that will deepen the chill in U.S.-Russian relations. Things were already frosty between the U.S. and Russia over Syria and also, U.S. criticism of Russia on human rights.
They don't all agree, though, on the significance of this snub.
That's right. The Wall Street Journal, for instance, which is a conservative paper, and it's quite surprising, says that, this is a welcome rebuke to Putin. It says that this is actually the right decision politically, and the only one Obama could make without looking like a, quote, patsy. But the question, according to the Wall Street Journal, is whether this is merely a symbolic rebuke or if this is a beginning of a policy shift that, recognizes that Putin's regime is, quote, hostile to Americans' interests. But Slate actually plays this rebuke down and says that Putin shouldn't actually feel snubbed. Obama didn't snub Putin. In fact, they never really had a good reason to meet in the first place, according to this article in Slate. Slate says that summits between heads of state have become commonplace. They used to be a big deal, but now they're almost too frequent. And proof that things aren't really that serious is the fact that Obama is still going to attend the G20 summit in St. Petersburg next month. Putin is going to be the host, so they're going to definitely meet.
Now, Russia is also getting attention in the press for a gathering storm over gay rights.
That's right. The Huffington Post takes a closer look at this. There have been calls, actually, for the International Olympic Committee to strip Russia of its right to hold the Winter Olympics, the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi. Now, why is that? Well, this is because of new homophobic laws in Russia that have led to a wave of attacks on gay people. And Stephen Fry, the actor, the British actor, has actually written a letter in the Huffington Post, an open letter to the British Prime Minister David Cameron and to the IOC. Basically, he's asking for them to back the call for this ban on the Sochi Olympics because of Putin's, quote, barbaric persecution of gay people. And actually, he likens the Sochi Games to the Olympics in Berlin under Nazi Germany in 1936. He says that Putin is making scapegoats of gay people just like Hitler did of Jews. He can't get away with this.
Now, turning our attention to Egypt, some of the papers are looking at the commander-in-chief of the Egyptian armed forces and the deputy prime minister and studying their roles.
That's right. The Guardian wonders, could General Sisi, could he be the next Nasser? Now, this is Gamal Abdel Nasser, Egypt's second president, who's widely celebrated in the Arab world. And according to the Guardian, Nasser is a big part of Egypt's psyche. And there's a lot of nostalgia for him, especially during tough times. So Egyptians are basically drawing the parallels between Nasser and Sisi because, they have similar careers, but also Sisi has been tapping into some themes that Nasser championed when he was president, like nationalism, skepticism of the West, and especially strong leadership. And the Guardian says that Egyptians are really attracted to this idea of strong leadership. It's interesting to note there's another article, this time in Asharq al-Awsat, that's also comparing Egypt to, this time other countries, comparing Egypt especially to Pakistan and Turkey, because these two countries have had situations where army commanders had very, close ties with the state. But the Asharq al-Awsat says we shouldn't be so quick to try to draw comparisons between Egypt and these other countries. We need to leave Egypt time to find its own model.
And finally, the sad fate of the Lone Ranger.
That's right, the Lone Ranger. It had everything to become a big hit this summer. Johnny Depp, the team behind the Pirates of the Caribbean, but it could be a huge flop. It's had really bad reviews, and it could have losses that could reach $200 million. That would make it the biggest flop in movie history. And the Guardian actually takes a look at other flops in movie history, like this one, Cutthroat Island from 1995, starring Gina Davis. I think I actually saw this movie. And also, The Guardian points out that anything with Eddie Murphy in it recently hasn't done so well as
Was
well.
that film terrible?
That, you know, I can't remember, but I do like Gina Davis, so I can't imagine it could have been pretty good, though.
All right, thank you very much, Florence, for taking us through the international papers. And thank you for watching live from Paris. Do stay tuned to France 24.